Soundwave Online, Operation Stein.
Alright, what could serve as a good vid for a commentary? It needs to be something relatively small and where I have some knowledge of. Oh, what's this? A commentary on doodle tones? And by Dan Stein? Sure, I can work with this. So for the few that are unaware, Dan Stein is a YouTube commentator who started off doing Pac-Man reviews? Until he began focusing on memes and commentaries. He's become more popular in the modern day, but it's more infamy than anything else. He's been commented on before by several people, but he still strides on. You might think he's a troll, but after watching this vid, I don't think he's a troll. Just think he's a plain old idiot. Today we'll be looking at his commentary on doodle tones, commentating on Phantom Strider, commentating on Gumball. I love when things flow so smoothly in a minorly comedic way.
You let this thing survive! Oh my god, you're so spiteful! Why are you so spiteful? And I was gonna kill him off at the end of the You're just so spiteful! Oh my god! Why are you so spiteful? Jesus Christ! You're so fucking spiteful, you dumb bitch! You let this Oh my god, you're spiteful, Stein! I told you to
Okay, I know you might not be the most proficient with editing software. I mean, hello, Mr. Watermark. And that's okay. But as someone who also has KineMaster, even I know that you can still edit the volume on two different media clips. And I get that this is supposed to be a skit, but still, the joke doesn't work if you're talking twice at the same time, simultaneously, and at the same volume at that. It's hard to listen to you while you talk over yourself, and it kills whatever joke you might have had.
Hey Doodle. I got your message about us wanting to do a co-op commentary.
Oh, yeah, hey.
Oh, please, don't ruin Pop Team Epic!
Wait, that's it? All you have to say is, don't ruin Pop Team Epic? And that's a problem... how exactly? I mean, Doodle did a good job pointing out issues in her video, but you don't like the fact she used Pop Team Epic pictures? What sense is that supposed to make? I mean, you can still listen to a video and get something out of it. Sure, not as much. Like if you were on another tab and I was to show this here Joe joke, you'd miss out on the pic. But verbal communication is more important and more effective than physical communication and what you see. Argue what she says, not how she looks.
Despite destroying his life, they don't even bother using Larry in the end. So what was the point of all that?
You literally just explained the point of ruining his life.
Well, just because the point of the joke is that, someone got their life ruined, doesn't mean that it's funny. Yeah, what's funny is subjective. But, here's the thing. Humor isn't subjective. What you think is funny is subjective, but humor isn't.
I want you to remember this humor isn't subjective quote because it will be an issue throughout this video. Oh, and get ready for him to repeat this whole just because that was the point doesn't mean it's funny, as I'll tackle that later on in this video.
Furthermore, you are reading way too deep into some of the other aspects of the episode. Well, more to the point, Larry destroying his car. It's such an insignificant point to the rest of the joke setup, and having that part have any effect at all on your enjoyment of the episode is maybe dwelling on the wrong aspects.
It wasn't just the car. He went into long detail about the other stuff. Okay?
You know, while I'm watching this, I realized something that neither Dan, Doodle, nor Strider brought up about this episode. So what? So what if the episode was mean-spirited? It's not canon in any major sense, and it's not brought up in later episodes. Hell, in future episodes, not only do we see Larry with other jobs, but in another episode we see Larry propose to a girl similar to the one from this episode. So why should we feel sad for him at all, knowing he's going to be fine later on?
Okay, Phantom Strider, listen. And you sounded like an SJW when you said, "What is this, sent in the 40s?" I mean, yeah, I can agree with you that Darwin's creepy on a sort of incestuous type of level. Besides, Doodle Tones has a diaper fetish. I bet you $1 million she probably has an incest fetish as well. After all, she likes anime. Well, Pop Team Epic, in my opinion, is the only good anime, and you ruined it, Doodle!
Fucking joy! Alright, strap in everyone, cause we're about to... First, way to label him an SJW. Am I trying to say that he isn't? No. But I do know that there could have been a nicer way to address the way that he said it. But then again, you are a child, so what do you know about that sort of stuff? Second, Darwin having a crush on his brother is incestuous, but that's really pinning it broad. Darwin has no idea that it's Gumball, so in his eyes, it's not really incest. But if we were to use that logic, that would defeat the purpose of your oh-so-clever jab at Doodles. And getting straight to that jab at Doodle, okay, she has a diaper fetish. And how does that devalue her point? You're basically trying to throw as much shade as her to make her seem bad, instead of tackling the point. And let me get this straight. Doodle has a diaper fetish. I'm going to bet you $1 million that she has an incest fetish as well. After all, she likes anime. Do I really need to say anything about how pointless, dumb, and fruitless that statement is? No. No, I don't think so. I'll just let it stand there so we can just admire how bad it is. Oh boy, that's bad. Oh, and one last jab at how Doodle ruined Pop Team Epic, the same way Teen Titans Go ruined Teen Titans somehow. Because that was so smart back at the beginning. Say, can I say that you ruined Kind Master with how you're using it, if that's how we're gonna play this game?
I don't think you should sound like an SJW when you're doing reviews. Look what happened to Mr. Quentin Reviews. He became a punching bag.
You act like being an SJW is a bad thing, and going off your tone, it sounds like they're annoying, therefore they are bad. Look, I get it. People rag on how SJWs are annoying, but there are some people who provide reasoning for why they are annoying. You don't even bother explaining why Strider is annoying when he talks like an SJW. So you come across as a dick because of that. And Quentin received backlash for his Trump remark and Ben Shapiro comments, yes, but he also was hated for how he had a huge ego, how he poorly handled his responses to him, and how people thought he was actually autistic. And all of those seemed just as big as the SJW stuff Quentin did. And as for the whole punching bag quip, give it a month and people will forget why he was that relevant to begin with.
That said, I don't see it as an outdated cliche, as it's still around and still prevalent. People don't give...
Oh my god. Even with the bad points, ain't you still managed to fuck up pointing it out. Okay, Doodle. Listen. He wasn't saying that the fact that people were ogling over him, including the women, was dated. He was saying it's dated because it feels misogynistic. He didn't say it outright, but come on, he's implying it.
No, he's not. He's asking why the women aren't boggling over him, and how it doesn't make sense narratively. And Doodle was telling him how it made sense narratively. And you're blabbering how he was talking how misogynistic it was. How you can jump to a conclusion like that, I will never tell. But then again, you did say how Doodles probably likes incest, all because she watches anime. So there must be some twisted logic involved that I'm missing out on.
As the word fat shaming, and I put that in quotation marks because fat shaming doesn't exist. Anyways, he unironically uses the word fat shaming, and that's a bad, and that's an SJW word, so yeah.
Wow, that's incredibly insensitive, not to mention stupid. Say, is this a commentary or a poor diss track? I kinda can't tell anymore.
Just gets creepier and creepier and creepier. This episode is irritating, it makes no sense. It pushes weird stalker-like behavior in kids as normal, and gives them an overall just bad message.
Oops. Did you do that? Did you just say that the episode treats Darwin stalking as normal? Did you do that? Did you do that? Are we gonna ignore how that was the conclusion to the episode?
Oops. The ass has been bitten. Now to
No, the conclusion to the episode was that Gumball put the dress on a balloon, it flew to the sun, and it popped, and Darwin got upset. No one said anything about him being a stalker.
That's because you're taking her at face value and not using that brain of yours to think further into this. You're trying to take her out of context, and yet it still fails. Good lord, we're 10 minutes into this video. That's a half hour long. Pray for me.
Still not funny. No one in the episode said, "Oh, that's creepy," except for Gumball and Anais. It's treated normal by everyone else except for those two characters.
Did that just happen? Did you just admit that Doodle was correct while trying to insist that she was still wrong? Did that happen? Did that just occur? Sweet merciful Christ!
to call 911. Wait. Doodle, do you know the number to call 911?
What's the number to 911?
And people say my ear rape jokes aren't funny. They aren't. Compared to this, they are.
They are. No need to flatter yourself, pal. Also, her repeating this joke is what actual funny people call a reoccurring gag. I mean, maybe to 8-year-olds you are funnier, but looking at the people that respond to you, you might need a better material, pal.
Gumball tries to help out Bobbert the robot. Bobbert ends up impersonating Gumball and somehow steals his life and his family with a disguise that wouldn't fool a blind, deaf beggar.
That's the joke, Strider.
Oh yeah, that's the joke. Well, guess what? That doesn't mean it's funny. How many times am I gonna say this shit?
Probably a while. Trust me, I know you want me to respond to this whole point, but I want to build a bit more momentum before the point comes crashing down.
There was an explanation as towards why Bobbert stole Gumball's identity. Gumball was trying to teach Bobbert about how to become a real boy, and during the process, Bobbert, with Gumball's permission, decided to copy Gumball's voice exactly. He makes fun of him, and then in the end, he actually felt emotions and thanked Gumball and Darwin. However, during that night, he still wasn't satisfied since while he is a real boy on the inside, he's still a robot on the outside. So what does he do since he now has Gumball's voice saved? Still Gumball's identity, hence the actual point as to why Gumball's identity was stolen to begin with.
Jeez, you explained it like if it was a supervillain backstory.
I mean, Bobbert was the villain of this episode, so yeah. I wonder why he had to explain it like it was some sort of villain backstory.
It's still not funny. No matter how many times you say, "That's the joke," it's still not funny.
Well said, Gumball. Well said.
Even Anais buys into Bobbert's moronic disguise.
That's a weird way of pronouncing Bobbert. Bobert. Bobert.
Whoa, what's this? Dan arguing semantics instead of making an actual argument? What a concept!
Doodle tones. I bet your brain's all wound up, all screwed. It's all screwed.
Ouch. That sounded oddly specific. Hope that didn't hit too close to home for you, pal. Wait. Argue a point? Alright then. Oh, what point? What argument was Dan trying to make? Oh, he's still thinking just because it's the joke doesn't make it funny, when Doodle makes no such indication that that's the case? Well, what can I add that's new, or something he can comprehend? I got nothing.
Now, before someone says that wouldn't negate his distaste for the episode, I mean, I guess not. I'm not really trying to do that. But with what Strider here...
She says she's not trying to do it, even though she is doing it. Yeah, talk about not trying.
Wow, way to cut her off and try to take her out of context. Again. And all of this just to make a half-assed point. It's funny how you try to criticize her for not trying when I can sum up your videos and points as just that. Not trying. Also, your laugh is annoying as shit, pal.
He's unintentionally trying to make the episode seem like a full-fledged comedy-based one, and sure, it's based on a joke of Bobbert mimicking Gumball, but it takes a purposeful dark turn to demonstrate the problem of Bobbert doing this.
Are you sure you're not strawmanning the episode? Because it so clearly seems that you're strawmanning the episode just so people who haven't seen the episode automatically believe you. I seen the episode and I know you're bullshit, Doodle.
Oh, like you're not innocent of the same shit yourself. Also, she was addressing issues Phantom tried to bring up, so congrats on failing to call out a fallacy properly. Also, you say you know her bullshit, yet you never bother to explain yourself at all. You know, if you want some people to know that she's lying about the episode and misinterpreting it, then why not, I don't know, show us what you mean by that?
It's better for everyone if you stay you and I stay me.
Affirmative.
Did you just play the moral of the whole shebang? The very thing that the entire episode led up to? The very thing that invalidates your complaint of it being cruel in nature?
Okay, Doodle Tones, okay, let me explain something. So, let's say you're in a courtroom, alright? You've been charged for molesting children because they look like lollies. You say, well, I learned my lesson that not to rape kids. Now, what would the judge do? A, let you go because you said the moral of the day. B, arrest you. He picked B. He would arrest you!
Woo! Okay, Dan, I'm not sure you get this, but here's the thing. This is a cartoon we're talking about, so trying to apply real-world logic just might not be the best course of action to try and refute Doodle. Second, what is your fixation on trying to paint Doodle in a bad light? I mean, accusing her of molesting kids? The fuck's wrong with you? If you want to say you hate Doodle Tones, just say it. And if you want to make an argument, make an argument. And insults and cheap shots are not arguments. They're childish. Also, judges don't arrest. They charge someone with a punishment, dumbass.
Please don't be a recurring issue. Please don't be a recurring issue.
And before we get to the last two, I just want to say that both these upcoming episodes are easy contenders for the worst episodes of good cartoons. My jaw dropped at how bad they were. It was just terrible. And with that said, let's take a look at them.
Why do I have a feeling that this segment is dragging out the video?
Because it is.
Your video is over 20 minutes long and it's you nothing but making the same point over and over again. I know who's padding out the video.
Duh, she's padding the video. That means I can pad the video as well. And yeah, I get that you have a skit later where Jerry comments on the same issue, but to quote John Enter, pointing at your problems does not make them go away.
Apparently, adults have no imagination, and all their hopes and dreams are destroyed and filed away. Gee, what a great message for kids.
That's not really it inherently. Like, the joke is less adults have no creativity and more adult life is fucking boring.
Oh my god, finally a good point! 19 minutes of shit and finally a good point! Thank you!
Well, technically it's about 10 minutes into her video and 19 of yours, but hey, gotta build up those good guy points and give her credit for at least something, even though you spent most of that time mocking her fetishes, assuming she was into incest, and saying she molests kids. Do I have that right?
Allow me!
We are more than capable of doing things for ourselves!
Yeah, how dare you show an incredibly unusual act of chivalry in this modern age.
And watch as Strider plays the real context to the joke to negate his complaint.
No, not another bad point where you use an out of context clip. No.
How is she taking him out of context? Please, I'm genuinely curious how she's taking him out of context. No? Not gonna... Alrighty then.
Out your narration, huh?
Allow me!
We are more than capable of doing things for ourselves! Actually, could you push that button for us?
Now, to explain...
His point was that they were acting like pompous dicks.
Hey, how about you let Doodle finish instead of interrupting and getting it wrong? Again.
Gumball yells at the guard for helping, her do everything before figuring out that, she can't do it all on her own.
Doodle, listen. Please stop trying to be PC. Just call him a he. Look, I only called you she because I was introduced to you as that. Then I later found out that you're actually a guy. Doodle dude.
Doodles is actually trans, and you're being an actual asshole for not calling her by her preferred pronouns. Yeah, fuck you, asshole. I don't care if you call me an SJW or whatever the fuck your immature mind wants you to call me. Fuck you, you insensitive dick!
As she is short. Boom, right there. Context that makes this joke have a punchline to it and not the misinformation you're feeding your audience.
Look, you're feeding misinformation, not Strider.
Explanation? Explanation? Is there an explanation for this? Explanation? Anywhere?
Was a guy holding open a door for a woman? Chivalry is tragically uncommon in our society anyway. The far greater tragedy is when no one opens the door for others.
Immediately after he plays a clip to negate his points, he plays another. Good job. Gumball wasn't complaining about the door holding. The guards started fighting in front of the door, and Gumball and Darwin both just kinda shrugged it off.
Until you play the out of context clip that I showed earlier where her Gumball was all like, "We are more incapable of doing this ourselves." I don't even have to show it now. You could just rewind back into this video.
To quote Trump at this point, wrong. You are wrong about the points you're trying to present, and the fact that you can't even back yourself up shows that you are feeding misinformation to your audience. Also, you didn't show the clip, Doodle did.
Well, here comes pain. Hey, Strider, do you realize that was kind of the point of the advice?
Hi, Lowers. Should I cut here or here? Hi, I'm Megan. It's this side for attention, this side for results. Meg is right, Peter. Okay, thanks. Thanks. I'm Doodle Tones. I think that's funny. Just because that's the point of the joke doesn't mean it's funny.
Alright, strap in, ladies and gentlemen, because we're about to break down just how this point, and his previous points, all fall apart, make no sense, and show just how insensitive he is to those around him. First, way to assume that Doodle likes edgy jokes, something that has nothing to do with the video, but what do you know about staying on topic at this point? Making an ass out of you and... No, I think the only ass in this situation is you. And this is a nitpick, but why not put images over you from the actual joke you're taking it from to make the skit a little funnier? Not that it would make it funnier, but it would be more visually pleasing than watching you. But let's cap this off with the point he kept repeating throughout the video. What was that previous clip?
Well, just because the point of the joke is that, someone got their life ruined, doesn't mean that it's funny. Yeah, what's funny is subjective. But here's the thing. Humor isn't subjective. What you think is funny is subjective, but humor isn't.
Yeah, that. So Dan, let me try to tell you something. Doodle was not trying to argue that the jokes were funny. Not at all. The only one who thinks that is you. All Doodle was trying to do was argue Strider's opinion, not his sense of humor, unlike you. Doodle can think that the jokes are not funny at all. Hell, she probably does think that they're not funny, but her point was to say that they were jokes. Not funny jokes, just jokes in general. And as for the humor not being subjective, how is humor not subjective? You don't even bother explaining why it isn't subjective, so why should I trust you, given what you presented to me in this very video? Let me explain this to you. Comedy is totally subjective, People from all over the world have weird forms of comedy. The French love fart jokes, but you don't. Neither does the internet. That sort of humor is subjective. There's a dude who smashes watermelons for humor's sake, and I bet you some people won't find that funny or humorous, and others will. Again, subjective. Hell, in your own video, you whine how your ear rape jokes are supposed to be funnier than what's the number to 9/11 jokes. People on the internet have different tastes in comedy, so they might not find your jokes funny, but they'll think Doodle's jokes are. Humor is subjective! There isn't anything worth bringing up in this video, just Dan being an idiot. Actually, there is one thing to bring up. Dan totally just rage quit at the end of that video.
You know, all that would be a given had Darwin not saying anything get played out to be a bad thing.
Doodle Tones, are you fucking high? You know, that's it. I'm done with the video. That's it. I'm done. I'm fucking done.
Yeah, that happens. Final thoughts, I suppose. Dan, I can't find anything positive to say about you. You don't understand a point. You can't seem to comprehend that you're accusing someone of fallacies while making the same fallacies yourself. And to make you even more of a dick, you're insensitive to other people and their preferences. I mean, I thought I was just gonna watch some dumb commentary, which I did, but you mocking SJWs and trying to throw shade at Doodle was a really dick move. I'd say get better, but I don't see how you can at this state. All I can really say is just grow up, man. Make videos when you're older and more mature. Well, I doubt that you're actually gonna mature, but a guy can hope. But that's it for now. So until next time, this is Soundwave Joestar, superior like a bloody stone.